Hello everyone. Before starting the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Management Access Control. Introduction. In this video I will be covering Management Access Control. But before proceeding towards the practical section, it is very important to have some knowledge about what basically the Management Access Control means. To understand Management Access Control, we must start with the Management Interface, also known as the Network Management Interface. A Management Interface or Network Management Interface is an interface, usually accessed through a web browser or an application, that allows us to make changes to the network settings. Examples are web-based management interface and command line interface. These days, the web-based management interface is most commonly used. It offers a user-friendly design, making it easy to navigate and apply network changes without much hassle. So, if you are not familiar with the management interface, then watch my other video on this topic. I will leave the link in the description. Now, what exactly is the Management Access Control? The term management here refers to the network management interface, where we make changes to the network settings or configurations. Access control, on the other hand, means controlling access, or, we can say, who will be allowed and who will be restricted from accessing the network management interface. So, in simple words, the term Management Access Control means that who will be allowed to access the network management interface to make any changes to the network configurations and who will be restricted from accessing the network management interface. It is basically a security feature that helps in preventing unauthorized access to the network management interface and restrict clients from making any harmful or unwanted changes to the network settings. By default, everyone on the network who has valid login credentials, I mean the username and the password, can access the network management interface and make changes to the network settings. If someone makes unwanted or incorrect changes, it can affect the entire network. As a result, all clients connected to the network might experience problems. This is where the Management Access Control feature comes into play. We can prevent unauthorized access to the network management interface by properly configuring the Management Access Control settings. Since I am making this video while building a Ruckus Unleashed network, I will show you the Management Access Control with different types of restrictions available on Ruckus Unleashed network and how to configure each type of restriction step by step. So without wasting further time, let's start the video. Verifying access to the Ruckus Unleashed network management interface. I will be using two machines in this video, my laptop and a desktop PC, while configuring the Management Access Control. The IP address of my laptop is 10.0.2.56, with a subnet mask of 255.255.254.0 or, what we call /23. First, I will demonstrate that the Ruckus Unleashed network management interface is currently accessible from both of my machines. So, on my laptop, I will open the internet browser and type the full URL address to access the login page of the Ruckus Unleashed network management interface. On this page, press the Advanced button and then the link given below. The login page appears. I will enter the username and password, and then press the Unleash button. We have accessed the Ruckus Unleashed network management interface via web browser, without any hurdle. Now, I will go to the desktop PC and, again, I will try to access the Unleashed network web management interface, to make sure that we can access the Ruckus Unleashed web management interface from both of our machines. The IP address of this PC is 10.0.2.188 and with the same subnet mask. It means that both machines are on the same network. To access the Unleashed Web Management Interface on this desktop PC, I will open the Internet browser and type the full URL address to access the login page of the Ruckus Unleashed Network Management. The same way, again, press the Advanced button and then the link given below on this page. I will enter the username and password, and then press the Unleash button. We can see that we have successfully accessed the Ruckus Unleashed Web Management Interface from both of our machines. As I mentioned before in this video, by default, any client on the network can access the management interface if they have the valid login credentials. That is why I showed you that the Ruckus Unleashed Management is accessible from both of our machines. Now, we will configure the Management Access Control to restrict unauthorized access to the Ruckus Unleashed Network Management Interface. Let's start with the configuration of Management Access Control. Configuring Management Access Control. To configure the Management Access Control, I will go to my laptop. Here, I will scroll down and go to the Admin and Services tab. Click this tab to expand it. Now click on the IP settings on the left side. After that, on the right side, click on the tab, Management Access Control. Under this tab, in the description it says, this table lists the specific IP addresses which are allowed access to the Unleashed network. As I said in the beginning of this video, that Management Access Control means that who will be allowed to access the management interface. Ruckus Unleashed offers 3 types of restrictions for the Management Access Control. Number 1. Single IP address. Means that the only IP address added to the Management Access Control table will be allowed to access the Unleashed network. Number 2. Range of IP addresses. Means that, here we can enter a range of IP addresses, which will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. Number 3. Subnet-based restriction. Means that, we can enter a specific subnet, and any IP address from that subnet will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. I will demonstrate each type of restriction, step by step. To configure the Management Access Control, we have to add the specific entry in its table. To add a new entry, simply click on the Create button. Create New page will open. As I mentioned before in this video, if we look at the restriction types, here we will find those 3 types of restrictions. A single IP address. Range of IP addresses. Subnet-based restriction. I will start with the first type of restriction offered by Ruckus Management Access Control. First type of restriction. Allowing only a specific IP address. In the first type of restriction, we can allow only a specific IP address, which will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed Network Management Interface. To create a new entry, with the first type of restriction, in the name field, I will type my laptop. We can assign any name as we want to. In the restriction types, I will select the first option, single IP address. In the IP address field, I will enter the IP address of my laptop, which is 10.0.2.56. Press the OK button. A confirmation message will appear, saying that, if I apply these settings, then the only IP addresses under this list or table will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed Network Management Interface. So, I will press the Yes button. We can see that a new entry named My Laptop with an IP address 10.0.2.56 has been added to the Management Access Control table. It means that now, the Ruckus Unleashed Network Management Interface can only be accessed using this IP address. Since my laptop has the same IP address, so my laptop will have access to the Ruckus Unleashed network. If, for any reason, the IP address of my laptop gets changed, then my laptop will not be allowed to do so. In that case, any machine, to which we assign this specific IP address, will be allowed to do so. To verify the changes that I recently made on my laptop, I will first log out from the Ruckus Unleashed web management interface. In a new tab, I will again try to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. So, I will type the full URL to verify that my laptop has access to the Ruckus Unleashed network, or not. On the login page, I will enter the username and password, and then press the Unleash button. As we see that, my laptop has access to the Unleashed network. This is because my laptop has the same IP address that I added to the Management Access Control table. Now, let's go to my desktop PC, which has a different IP address. As we can see that, on this machine, we had previously accessed the Ruckus Unleashed network. To verify the accessibility of this machine to the Ruckus Unleashed network, I will have to log out first. After logging out, we see the blank page, means that this machine has lost the accessibility to the Ruckus Unleashed network. If I open a new tab and try to access the Ruckus Unleashed network by entering the full URL address, we will notice that, now, this machine is not allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. So, the first type of restriction has been implemented successfully, where we configured a single and specific IP address with allowed permission to the Ruckus Unleashed network. Second type of restriction. Allowing a range of IP addresses. Now I will go to my laptop and let's check the second type of restriction, which is allowing a range of IP addresses. I will go to the Admin and Services tab, and then the IP settings. Again press the Management Access Control tab. Before configuring the second type of restriction, we must delete the current entry, to avoid any conflict. So, I will delete the current entry of a specific IP address first. Simply, select the entry, and then, press the Delete button. A confirmation message appears, press the Yes button. The current entry with a specific IP address has been deleted from the table. Press on the Create button again. The same way Create New Page will appear. This time, in the restriction types, I will select the second option, which is the range of IP addresses. So in the name field, I will simply name this entry as my range. In the restriction types, I'll select the second option, the range of IP addresses. In the IP address field, in the first box, I will enter the starting IP address, followed by the last IP address of the range in the second box. Press the OK button. A confirmation message will appear again, saying, if I apply this configuration, the only IP addresses in this table will be allowed to access the Unleashed network. So I say yes. The new entry has been added to the Management Access Control table. It means that any machine having an IP address from this range of IP addresses will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. To verify the changes on my laptop, I will again first log out from the Ruckus Unleashed network. The login page appears. I will enter the username and password, and then press the Unleash button. We can see that, from my laptop, I have successfully logged in to the Ruckus Unleashed network. This is because the IP address of my laptop 10.0.2.56 belongs to the range of IP addresses that I added under the Management Access Control table. Now, I have to verify that either another machine having an IP address other than this range of IP addresses will be allowed or not. So, I will go to my desktop machine, which has a different IP address, 10.0.2.188, I mean, the IP address of this machine does not belong to the range of IP addresses that I added to the Management Access Control table. I will open a new tab on this machine and try to access the Ruckus Unleashed network by entering the full URL address. Upon pressing the Enter button, we can see that this machine has no access permission to the Ruckus Unleashed network. The reason is, the IP address that this machine has, which is 10.0.2.188, doesn't belong to the range of IP addresses under the Management Access Control table. Hence, prove that the only IP address belong to that specific range will be allowed. All other IP addresses will be restricted. So, we have successfully configured the second type of restriction, which is a range of IP addresses. Now, I will proceed towards the configuration of third type of restriction for Management Access Control. Third type of restriction: allowing a full and specific subnet. To configure the third type of restriction for Management Access Control, I will go to my laptop. On the main page, scroll down and I go to the Admin and Services tab. Then I will expand it. Click on the IP settings, followed by selecting the Management Access Control tab. If I wanted to make a duplicate entry with the same settings, simply select the entry and then press the clone button. A new page will appear with the same settings. Here we can change the name or other settings, if we wanted to. Then simply click the OK button. A duplicate entry will be created. Since I do not want to create a duplicate entry, so I will press the Cancel button. Before proceeding towards the third type of restriction, I have to delete the current entry first. So, select the entry and then press the Delete button. A confirmation message will appear. I will press the Yes button. Another confirmation message will appear, again press the Yes button. The current entry has been deleted successfully. Now, to create an entry with the third type of restriction, again, I will press the Create button. Create New Page will open. In the Name field, I will name this entry as My Subnet. In the restriction types, I will select the third type named Subnet. For the IP address field, in the first box, I will enter the IP address of my laptop and, then in the second box, we can either enter the full subnet mask or the CIDR notation, like 23. But here I will enter the full subnet mask so that once I create this entry, it will be automatically converted to the CIDR notation. Press the OK button. Then press the Yes button. We'll see that the entry is added to the list and the subnet mask is automatically converted to /23. What will happen now? All the machines with the subnet mask of 255.255.254.0 will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. Since this subnet mask contains about 512 IP addresses, so all the IP addresses will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. To verify that, I will first log out from the Ruckus Unleashed network on my laptop. After logging out, I will enter the username and password, and then press the Unleash button to log in again. We see that, on my laptop I have accessed the Ruckus Unleashed network successfully. Now, I'll go to my desktop PC. I will open a new tab and try to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. The login page will open. If I enter the username and password and then press the Unleash button, we will see that this machine has now access to the Ruckus Unleashed network. In simple words, a subnet means full network, not a specific IP address, not a range of IP addresses, but all the IP addresses belonging to that subnet will be allowed access to the Ruckus Unleashed network. If we do have different networks, means, with different subnet masks, then, the only machines on this specific subnet will be allowed to access the Ruckus Unleashed network. All the machines on a different subnet will be restricted from accessing the Ruckus Unleashed network. That's it. We have successfully configured all the three types of restriction for the Management Access Control on Ruckus Unleashed network. Hope you find this video helpful. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Next video. In my next video, I will practically show you that, how can we downgrade Ruckus firmware, from unleashed to standalone or solo firmware.